Hey y'all, Tournament came in. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 17 of Fruit Baskets. And I gotta say, this episode was by far, wow, another ace Fruit Baskets episode. And when by ace, it was another fantastic one. Because let me explain why. This episode did a lot and actually not just helping make me appreciate Utani more, but damn, I didn't think it would make me appreciate Kyoko more either. And don't get me wrong, before I saw this episode, I thought Kyoko was cool. But here, it actually, wow, it hit me like a fuel truck when it, just even more, just thinking about Kyoko's death. And let me explain why. Because in this episode, you see Kyoko give Utani advice, which, to try to paraphrase almost everything she said into a small amount of words, pretty much it had the message of, in life, you'll make mistakes, but just as long as you kind of avoid making the same ones, then it's all good. Like, there's no problem with making mistakes as long as you can learn from them. And I like how it kind of had this moral message in a way. And in addition to that, I like how this episode showed off that the bond between Toru and Utani was tested, not because of those two specifically, but because of all the circumstances around. Because at first, people were thinking that Utani wasn't like the best character for Toru to hang around from. And you had teachers with those kind of fucked up preconceived notions. But in a vacuum, though, it makes them feel realistic because you gotta think about it. A student that's really, really nice, in a way, it's like there is a chance that they might be suckered into peer pressure and making negative decisions. We all know in this instance it's not the case. But in real life, it could, once you look at it that way, the way the teachers acted and even the other students acted was realistic. And I like how through all this, you see Toru's strong moral character when she's all saying stuff like, still making cupcakes for Utani, and then when you see Utani listening in and smiling, I like that sequence. It was hella sweet. And I like how it showed how their friendship persevered despite people having doubts in their friendship. Well, aside from Kyoko. Kyoko naturally had faith in Utani and Toru becoming friends, but I'm saying all the other people. And Akimoto too. So all in all, these sequences made Toru's and Utani's friendship feel like it had much more power, and I feel that's what really resonated with me in this episode. Just seeing how they both became best friends and all that, and then hearing the sequences where Utani always wanted to visit Kyoko and Toru. That was hella of adorable. How at times he would show up in good condition or beat up condition, and you would see Kyoko care for Utani on occasions too. That was really nice. It actually also shows you layers of Kyoko too, helping out someone in need, especially when you saw the character development moment in the past where Utani wants to leave the gang and you see her get beat up and it looked painful. I was like, oh Lord. And then to see Kyoko show up there and save Utani from that situation. And while we didn't see the fight itself, we saw the aftermath where she managed to shoo off all those kids, but she had a few scratches on her face. It was nice to see how she went through all that to help rescue the best friend of her daughter. That was also a hell of an adorable sequence too, and that's what made this episode resonate with me even more. Just seeing how much of a character person Kyoko is, to see what type of great lengths she would go for her daughter. And that's also why I felt this episode was amazing. Because it wasn't just Utani moments. It was amazing Kyoko moments. And honestly, once I mentioned that Utani mentioned that... okay. Man, it's kind of getting to me emotionally. Once she mentioned that, and then it was sad that the bright lights in Toru's house weren't there anymore after Kyoko died. That was really sad, and it actually made me feel emotional while live reacting to it, and I was like, dang. And that's also what helped make this episode feel amazing from a story standpoint. Just brought in the emotions in every single sequence. And then then I love how it masterfully ended off, while with it showing now when it comes to Utani or her dad, now the lighting's bright, because in the previous episode in the flashback we saw it was dark, but now in current day it's bright, and you see Utani making food for her dad, and you see the dad all happy and smiling, and that's what really makes this episode end off really, really well. And it also shows off that at times it'll show when it starts out it's better to hide the information than slowly reveal it as it progresses, and this episode did it masterfully. So from a story standpoint, this episode was amazing, and it even ended off the plot point with Ishii and the two other girls, because they actually do confront Utani, but then at the end Utani sets them straight, and then afterwards you see them, at least two of them, become fangirls of Utani, and they become a bit more gentler, and I like that. To see these three girls also go through their slight character development, and with their plot point now resolved, because now they don't want to do anything to Utani anymore. Now at least two of them are fangirls of her. So all in all, we made a lot of plot progression. Got through Utani's flashback, and we got that plot point resolved. And from a character standpoint, wow, it did justice for Kyoko and Utani by far. It actually helped make me care about Kyoko more than it already did. Gotta give it props to that. The animation art was beautiful, because they didn't half-ass it. Like when you saw the scratches on Kyoko while she was carrying Utani, when she saved Utani from these gang members that were beating her up, you could tell they went all out, because instead of having a static background while they were walking to try to save some cost, they had a beautiful water that had a reflection of the beautiful moon. Not a reflection, but some of the light of the moon, and it made for a really wonderful sequence. So I can tell the animators went all out in this episode. The music placement was amazing. Voice acting was amazing. And that's why I'm going to rate this episode a 10 out of 10. Honestly, it was a wonderful episode. Anyways, y'all, these are my thoughts on the episode. Be sure to comment your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to rate the video, subscribe. And I'll see you guys later if you come back for more. Because, wow, I was impressed by this episode. Alright, bye-bye, everyone.